Well, lots to say today, I guess. Another video response. I'm watching some people that are subscribing to my channel. There's one guy that I've been kind of watching, and I've posted a comment, and he's got this massive challenge that he's trying to do, and he's posting his experiences. And I kind of commented on the fact that you ain't enjoying your experience at all. You're constantly complaining about everything, and yet you're on the experience that you wanted to have, yet you're complaining about it. And there's always an attention at the end result, but not the enjoyment of the journey. And, constant complaints. And, kind of commented on, why aren't you enjoying your journey? And then the response back was, I got to get some pain. I will only see growth if I experience pain. And so that's sort of what this video is about, is do we need to go through massive amount of pain in order to evolve, in order to learn our lessons? No pain, no gain. That old saying, that belief. How many of us have that belief? And do you really want to believe in something like that? Do you really have to believe no pain, no gain? That you're never ever going to experience an education unless you find it extremely painful. That's just not a concept that I can buy into. It's one that I did and went through an awful lot of pain, but I didn't learn anything while I was in that pain. I had to jump out of that pain and get into a pleasurable experience. And once I was there, then my lesson came up. But I was learning shit while I was in pain. If you're in pain and frustration and fear and hate and everything negative, you will never find any good answers. The only thing you're going to do is push you to the point where you can't handle the pain anymore, so you choose a different direction. And that's kind of what I was suggesting, but this guy was like totally against, rejecting any form of feel good pleasure in his life whatsoever. He's so determined to live his life with pain. So it's like, okay, gotta support that. I'm not going to be against anybody that wants to experience pain in order to learn a lesson. However, I even did ask the question, if there is a way to get a massive education without pain, would you be interested? And this guy said no. So it's like, can you see our beliefs really, really guide us down? We're not even going to take that path, because our business rules, how we live our lives, will prevent you from learning anything good. You got to get to your absolute, rock bottom of pain to be able to decide, I don't want this pain anymore. And then you got to change your belief. You got to change your business rules that guide your life and say, okay, if there's a way to learn a lesson with pleasure, I would love to. I mean, that's an easy belief. Who would not want to believe something like that? If you can learn your best lessons through pleasure, who the hell would reject that? Would you? And then this guy brought up childbirth. Would I go for the epidural if I knew that it would injure um, my child's health or safety? It's like, yeah, gave birth to 4 kids. There's nothing more painful than pushing a baby outside your butt. And 3 of them were natural, and 1 of them I took the epidural route. And I am more grateful for the ones that I took the natural route and the more painful route. But there was no pain, like there was pain, but I had to learn the process of no pain. And these nurses that work in maternity wards are miracle workers. I mean, they should be out teaching people how to live without pain, because that's what they're masters at. I mean, to be in childbirth and they coach you into feeling no pain actually works. And here's the process. You meditate on something. You know what I was doing was looking at a spot on the ceiling, and you stare at that and you tell yourself something. And what I was always telling myself is, this will pass, this is passing, this is short, because it doesn't last that long. Your contractions are okay, they could be 3 minutes or 5 minutes, but it's not a lifetime. So when you can realize that this is not going to be an everlasting thing, I will overcome this, and you can focus on one spot in the wall, all of a sudden the pain did go away. In those moments that I was able to do that, my pain was gone. As soon as I realized that this is not going to last forever, the pain went away. And what caused that is because instead of being extremely tense, I was a lot more relaxed. So it's amazing that when your body is a lot more relaxed, it doesn't feel pain. Chances are, if you're in a lot of pain, you're in a lot of stress. The stress is tightening up all of your muscles, tensing every aspect of your body, and it's intensifying your sensation of pain. But all pain is for you to recognize something, for you to experience your world and say, something. What is this about? And we've had this, you know, generation of giving childbirth is the most painful thing on the planet, but it isn't really. Is it the best time that you can possibly have to experience how you can control your pain, pleasure, sensations naturally? Because it was the most profound experience I've ever had. Another aspect of this is they teach you how to breathe. And it is amazing that if you breathe really, really slow and really, really deep and get yourself really, really relaxed, the pain goes away. I also noticed that you can't be angry at all if you are not in pain. So if you can control your emotions not to experience the pain, but to just realize this is just a stage, this will pass, this isn't the end of my life. If you can get yourself in that state when you're extremely angry or extremely frustrated, and you're able to breathe really deeply and be extremely calm, guess what? You can never be pissed off. It's like forces you into a pleasure situation when things aren't pleasant. It is the most profound experience I've ever had. And, like it was, just childbirth, and it was just an experience that I didn't know any better at the time of how to use that experience to use in the rest of my life. I wish I would, because then a lot of things that I experienced I wouldn't have experienced. But now I'm putting like the pieces of the puzzle together, and those are the pieces that I put together that when I came out of, the pain of waking up to how fucked up this world is, that is part of the experience I called on. Those were the anchors in my life. What was equal to the pain I was experiencing when I was waking up, and it was equal to childbirth. And what was the thing that made me calm down? Well, just saying, okay, this will pass, because I have, like 51 years of experience, and I've seen that my life changes just about every 7 years. So nothing is ever long lasting. Everything constantly is changing. So I knew to do that, and I knew to calm down and breathe deep. And, there was a whole pile of anchors that I used that got me out of that extremely painful waking up process. So, when I did take that epidural, yep, that was a really good experience to have childbirth and not have any pain, but it is not the experience that I would ever choose again. I would constantly try, I'm not going to have any more babies, but I would definitely recommend natural childbirth just for your own personal self development. If you can use that experience, and I'm not saying go out and have babies just to learn this lesson, but I mean, if you're going to give childbirth, I would go for that experience and try to see if you can do it without pain. Because if you can give childbirth, if you can know the little tricks of giving childbirth without pain, and use those same tools in all aspects of your life, then you'd have a life with zero pain. You don't have to learn life from a painful experience. you will only learn your biggest lesson when you don't want to experience that pain anymore. So that's all that path of pain is, you're just going to create more and more pain until you decide you don't want to be in any pain. And then when you get to that point, that's when you wake up. That's when you get access to the information field. That's when you get real good answers. But you won't get it if you're fearing, especially, if you're fearing God, and you're not going to access any good information. You won't know who God is if you're in fear of, something that's supposed to be loving. A lot of our rules that we live our life are kind of screwed up. But there's my response to that. Life does not have to be painful. You can enjoy the process. Just it's just a learning experience. And we're about to evolve into something completely different. Something that's completely painless. But you gotta be wanting to be painless to go into that road. Peace out.